Welcome to my video today. Today is all about exploring a couple of hidden gems onto or close to the Walk of Fame. When you think of Hollywood Boulevard, you think of the Walk of Fame. It's the main drag. You think of the Chinese theatre and those people that have literally cemented themselves into history and popped their handprints at the Chinese theatre. But this is all about the Hollywood Museum, a beautiful hidden gem of a museum, and it's just off the Walk of Fame. It's literally about 15 steps, and you're walking onto North Highland Avenue. You can get there either by, say, the hop on hop off bus, it's walking distance from that stop. You can take the metro to the Hollywood and Highland, or you can get there with a taxi or an Uber. I was staying at Universal Studios, so I got an Uber. It took about 12 minutes, and it costs roughly that too, about $13. Let's explore this museum, and later on I'm going to show you the Funko Shop and a great souvenir shop that I found while I was there. So let's hit the museum. At the time that I visited the museum, the ticket price for me was $15. I just purchased it at the counter. You can pre-book it online. Just be sure to check their website in case there are any price increases or any special events. As you enter the museum, one of the first features of the museum is Max Factor's world famous makeup rooms. Now, as you can see here, we've entered through the red-headed room, so they're broken down into blondes, brunettes, redheads. And in this particular room, it's primarily focused around Lucille Ball, but there are a number of different actresses that will make small appearances in amongst the makeup cabinets and things like that. So you'll have different photographs to look at, you'll have costumes, you'll have makeup bits, you'll have wigs, you'll have all sorts of things that you can look at. It's all really interesting and really cool to see what it was like back in the day at the prime of Hollywood. And I'll just be quiet for a moment while you take in the surrounding atmosphere. And on to the next one, blondes. As you can tell, the most famous blonde of them all being Marilyn Monroe. There are some very famous outfits in this particular room and some great footage as well on the screen. And again, I'll just keep quiet for a moment while you take a look.
I've never seen so many men in all my life. That boy, Marilyn must come and go, and Korea, life can never be the same.
And finally, the brunette room, of course, famously Judy Garland. And after just seeing a couple of images of her room, I then have some makeup images and what looks like a medieval torture device, but it is in fact a part of making symmetrical makeup on your face. Once you exit the makeup rooms, you then come across the autograph room. It's full of famous faces from the golden age of Hollywood, and it's got famous headshots of them, and then you come across autographs as you continue. And they've got some gorgeous plaques from different films, and it's all signed by the cast. So I was just having fun picking out people that I really love and enjoy. And here's a little sample of the ones that I picked out, and hope you enjoy. The next room was one of my favourites. It was full of different props and costumes used from famous films. So I'm going to show you a few here and some videos as well. now leave the ground floor of the museum and go up a level to the first floor. And in this museum, they actually do hold a number of exhibits sometimes to do with certain films. And while I was there, the series they were doing just happened to be Ghostbusters. There's also another exhibit going on at the same time as this, and that is the reason I actually wanted to visit the Hollywood Museum. It's got my favourite film in it, that'll come up shortly. And there's actually 4 floors to this particular museum, and that includes the basement that I left until the end. And yes, let's just have a quick look at Ghostbusters, followed by my favourite film and its trilogy. This is the typewriter where the first 2 drafts of my favourite film were actually typed on. And after those first 2, the circulating drafts were retyped on an electric typewriter. But Bob Gale kept this just in case he had a power failure. And here there's going to be plenty of times when I'll be quiet because there's actually so many props and goodies to run through with this particular exhibit. I couldn't kind of get enough of it. So I just took loads and loads of pictures and some videos, and just taking a look at the props is really, really cool. And to see that they've, survived this long, and even the Mr. Fusion has been turned into a lamp. So there's some really unique things to take a look at. So enjoy. This costume mannequin was actually really, really cool. Other than, they did an excellent job of making it look like Michael J. Fox. If you look closely at the pocket that I zoomed in on, he has the almanac in his pocket. Now having a quick look at the collectibles cabinet. I took particular interest in this Back to the Future sunglasses giveaway at Pizza Hut. I actually remember having these glasses. I had the one with the red head on the lower right. I actually owned those.
not till 2015.
It's stuck. The time surface must allow me to shoot.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the Back to the Future exhibit. I certainly did, and I hope I covered a lot of it for you. I think I did. Kind of took pictures of anything and everything that I could find. Now I'm just going to show you the other half of this particular room. So the same room slash floor as Back to the Future. It just had lots of other costumes and props and things like that to have a look at. So I'm just going to show you a couple of those now. The top floor of the museum was a Pointer's Sisters exhibition. Now we leave the safety of the upper floors and go to the basement, which is full of monsters and horror films and things like that. I went the safety route. I did not want certain death, but then I encountered Hannibal Lecter. I doubt that I'm very safe there, but I kept walking along, and it's just a few cells with, as you can see, just some props and things like that. You turn the corner. Sweeney Todd was the first thing that I saw, and as I kind of went through, I'm not a huge horror person, but I was seeing things that I actually did like. It's kind of like the thriller or the darker films that are out there. So I just took a few photos, plenty of costumes down there. It was quite creepy down there in that it's all dark, and I don't actually remember hearing anything. It was very, very quiet, which made it even more creepy. I kind of kept looking around expecting someone to jump out, but they didn't. Maybe they do that at Halloween, but they definitely didn't do it while I was in there, which I was thankful for. I was the only one downstairs. And as we come to the end of the horror section, I thought we'll finish on a lighter note. And this is just some items that are in the reception area, or the lobby, if you will, of the actual museum. So just to finish off with some nice brightly coloured items. And I hope you enjoyed that tour of the Hollywood Museum. Definitely recommend it to anyone, young or old. And now I'm just going to take you over to the Funko Shop and just show you what that looks like. It's a great place for kids. Definitely, like, if I had a friend there, though, I'd be taking photos every 5 seconds. But this was all just a pile of photos that I took to show you that it is quite interactive in this shop. Like, you can take plenty of photos with the family. And here it is, just take a little look at it. So while you're looking around and doing the shopping, perhaps, getting any exclusive Funko items, pops, bags, there's even some dresses and blankets, t-shirts, so your kids can be off taking loads of little pictures with things. As you can see, you could interact and sit in the Jurassic Park ride. You can pretend to sit in the speeder from Star Wars. So plenty of really cool photos can be taken in here, so I just thought it was super interesting to kind of go around every single corner and just see a new character sitting there. So I just took plenty of photos just to give you an idea of what you can do in this shop. I mean, you don't have to buy anything. It's free entry. You can walk in, have a look at all the cool stuff. You can make your own pop, but that's the queue there. So just to be wary that that's one of the major things that you can do in this shop, but very busy. And just to round it off, I thought I'd end this with a great souvenir shop that I found on the last day, unfortunately. So I had A, no money, and B, no suitcase space left, but I will definitely be returning to this store the next time I go. It's got terrific souvenirs and great collectibles, and all at all sorts of people's price points, even budget conscious price points. I priced this cap here, it was $14.99, which is excellent for a cap in the US. And it was just really fun and quirky, and it had so much stuff, anything and everything you could think of. It's located within walking distance from the Chinese Theatre and located on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I will definitely be hitting that shop the next time I go. Thank you so much for watching, and I do hope I've pointed out something perhaps that maybe you haven't thought of before, whether that be a repeat visit or a brand new one. If you want to leave a comment below, that would be great, and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. And if at all possible, please pop a like if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.